Imagine a planet where liquid water covers the surface, where temperatures are perfect for life, and where the sky has two stars shining like our sun. In our galaxy, there are billions of planets orbiting other stars, places we've never visited, but that might be even better for life than Earth itself. Scientists have already found more than 5,000 of these distant worlds, and some of them are so similar to our planet that it's scary. But here's what changes everything. There's a planet out there that astronomers call super habitable, a place where life would have even better conditions than here. Have we already found the perfect planet? What if it's closer than we imagine? Subscribe to the channel, leave your like and comment from what part of the world you're watching, because now I'm going to tell you everything. Have you ever wondered if there are other worlds far away, worlds that circle suns much different from our own? Many people have asked this question, and scientists have searched for the answer for a long time. The planets that spin around stars outside our solar system are called exoplanets. These exoplanets are not just dots in the sky. They are real places with their own skies, days, nights, and maybe even land or oceans. Hundreds and even thousands of exoplanets have been found in the last few years, and they have changed how people think about space and life. Our own solar system has 8 planets. Earth is one of them. The other planets go around the sun too. But all of these planets are still close to us when we look at the size of the universe. Beyond the sun, there are billions of other stars. Almost every star you see in the night sky is a sun. Some are smaller than the sun and some are much larger. Each of those stars can also have their own planets going around them. These new worlds are called exoplanets because exo means outside. So exoplanets are planets outside our own solar system. For a long time, people could only wonder if these planets were really there. When people looked at the night sky, they could see points of light that never moved, and they could see planets of our own solar system like Mars or Jupiter moving across the stars. But no one could see a world around a star that was far, far away. Stars are so bright and planets are so small and dark. Even if you have a big telescope, it is very hard to see a planet next to a star. The light from the star is much stronger and hides the planet. The first real proof that exoplanets existed came not very long ago. In the year 1992, 3 scientists found planets going around a kind of star called a pulsar. This was a very special discovery, but pulsars are not like our sun. They are stars that are very old and have changed a lot. Then, in the year 1995, 2 scientists in Switzerland, Michel Mayor and Didier Queloz, found a planet going around a star much more like the sun. This was the first time anyone had proof of a planet around another normal star. Since this first discovery, many other scientists have looked at stars to find more planets. Today, over 5,000 exoplanets have been found. Exoplanets are very different from each other. Some are large, even larger than the planet Jupiter. Jupiter is the biggest planet in our solar system. These huge exoplanets are made of gas. People sometimes call them gas giants. These gas giants do not have a hard surface like Earth or Mars. If you tried to stand on them, you would sink into gas. Some exoplanets are very close to their stars and get very hot. These hot gas giants are called hot Jupiters. Other exoplanets are much smaller. Some are about the size of Earth, or just a little bigger. These smaller worlds are called rocky planets because they have a solid surface. On Earth, you can walk on the ground, climb mountains, or swim in lakes. Rocky exoplanets might have land, mountains, rivers, and maybe even oceans. These rocky planets are the most interesting to scientists who search for life. Life as we know it needs a solid place to stand and water to drink. There are also exoplanets called super-Earths. These are planets that are somewhat larger than Earth but not as big as Neptune or Uranus. These super-Earths might have more gravity than Earth, which means things would weigh more there. Some super-Earths could be covered in water with deep oceans. Some could be dry with no water at all. Some exoplanets are very cold because they are far from their stars. These faraway planets could be covered in ice. Others are very hot with boiling temperatures because they are too close to their stars. Some exoplanets have strange orbits going around their star in shapes that are not round. Their years can be much shorter or much longer than a year on Earth. Finding exoplanets is not simple. No person can travel to these planets. Even the closest star to us is so far away that it would take many thousands of years to get there with today's rockets. So, how do scientists know these planets are really there? The first way is to use telescopes. Some telescopes are on the ground, and some are in space, far above the Earth. Scientists look at stars very carefully. They are looking for tiny changes in the light that comes from those stars. One special thing they watch for is called a transit. A transit happens when a planet passes in front of its star from our point of view. Imagine holding a small ball in front of a bright light. The ball will block a small part of the light. The star will look just a little bit dimmer for a short time until the planet moves away. By checking many stars for these small dips in light, scientists can find new exoplanets. A famous telescope called Kepler was built to look for these tiny changes. The Kepler telescope looked at more than 150,000 stars. It watched them for many years. It found thousands of exoplanets using the transit method. Some of the planets it found are close to the size of Earth. Some are bigger, some are smaller. Some are very far from their stars, and some are very close. Another way to find exoplanets is by looking at the star itself. Sometimes a planet pulls on its star as it goes around. This pull is called gravity. If you look at the star's light very closely, you can see a small change caused by this pull. This is called the radial velocity method. When a planet orbits, it makes the star move a little bit. That movement changes the color of the star's light, just a small amount. By using powerful machines that can see these tiny changes, scientists can find new exoplanets. Some scientists also use very big telescopes to try to see the exoplanet directly. This is very hard because the star is so bright and the planet is so faint. Sometimes they use special tools to block the light from the star. This helps them see the planet itself. With better tools and telescopes, it is becoming easier to find and study exoplanets this way. When scientists find an exoplanet, they want to learn more about it. Is it big or small? Is it rocky or made of gas? How far is it from its star? How fast does it spin? Does it have an atmosphere? These questions are important because they help scientists understand if life could be there. Some exoplanets are found very close to Earth, just a few light years away. A light year is a way to measure distance. It is as far as light can travel in 1 year. Light is very fast. Nothing in the universe is faster. Even the closest exoplanet is many trillions of kilometers away, so they are very hard to study. The discoveries of exoplanets have helped scientists learn a lot about space. Before the first exoplanet was found, many people thought that planets were rare. Maybe Earth was special and alone as a place with a planet around a normal star. But now, scientists think most stars have at least one planet, and many have many planets. There could be billions of planets in just our own galaxy. Our galaxy is called the Milky Way. In other galaxies, there could be billions and billions more planets. Every new exoplanet gives scientists more clues about how planets form and why they are so different. Some solar systems are very strange. Some have huge planets moving close to their star, something we do not see in our own solar system. Some have more than one Earth-sized planet. Some have planets that spin the wrong way or have very odd orbits. Because there are so many different exoplanets, scientists are always asking new questions. Why do some planets have thick atmospheres and others do not? Why do some have water and some do not? Why do planets form at different places around the star? With each new planet, the story of the universe becomes more interesting. The search for exoplanets is not just about counting how many planets are out there. It is also about asking a bigger question. Are any of these planets places where life could exist? Life, as we know it, needs certain things: a rocky surface, a good temperature, air, and water. Scientists look for planets that are about the same size as Earth, not too far from their star and not too close. This is because only then can water be liquid. Planets that are close get too hot and water boils away. Planets that are far are too cold and water freezes. The place around the star where it is not too hot or too cold is called the habitable zone. Some people call it the Goldilocks zone because conditions have to be just right. To find out if an exoplanet is in the habitable zone, scientists first measure how far it is from its star. They look at the size of the planet too. Bigger planets might be gas giants. Smaller ones might not have enough gravity to keep air around them. The best chance for life is on a rocky planet, about as big as Earth. Another clue is the star itself. Some stars live for billions of years, while others burn out very fast. Life takes a long time to get started. A planet needs a calm, steady star that shines for a long time. It also helps if the planet's orbit is not too wild. Planets with bumpy or changing orbits might have big swings in temperature or seasons that are too extreme. Steady, safe orbits help keep the planet's climate nice for life. When a new exoplanet is found, scientists look at all these clues: size, distance from the star, type of star, and orbit. Each planet gives a new piece of information. Some planets are very promising, and scientists want to study them more to find out if they have air, water, clouds, storms, or even signs of life. Scientists are always inventing better ways to find and study exoplanets. New telescopes are being built and sent into space. These telescopes will help find planets that are even smaller and farther away. They will also help study what exoplanets are made of and if they have things like water vapor or oxygen in their air. These are important clues because life on Earth uses oxygen and water. The search for exoplanets will go on for many years. Every year new exoplanets are found, and each one teaches us something new. The more we know about exoplanets, the more we understand our own Earth and how life begins. Someday, people hope to find signs of life on a world far away, a world that could be very much like Earth or even better. It is exciting to think that right now there are scientists watching the sky using powerful telescopes, hoping to find a new world that could change what we know about life forever. Each star in the night sky could have its own planets, and maybe, just maybe, one of those planets is not so different from our own. The journey to discover exoplanets has only just begun, and every new planet brings people closer to the answer of whether we are alone in the universe. Every discovery of a new exoplanet is followed by many questions. Many scientists are curious to know if these exoplanets could hold life. Life is something very special. On Earth, life is everywhere, in the oceans, on the land, in the air, and even in places that are very hot, cold, dry, or deep. Because of this, many people wonder, could life start in other places too? Scientists spend much of their time searching for answers about life beyond Earth. They do not just look for planets. They look for planets that could be good homes for living things. Many people have looked at the night sky and wondered if there are other forms of life out there. Some people hope to find other living creatures because this would mean humans are not alone in the universe. Some people want to know for sure if Earth is special or if life is common everywhere. There are many reasons that scientists search for life outside Earth. First, they want to understand how life starts. On Earth, life began billions of years ago. Nobody knows for sure exactly how or when life began, but it happened a very long time ago. If life began on Earth, perhaps it can start on other planets too, if those places are just right. Another reason that scientists search for life is to find out how life changes. On Earth, living things changed slowly over millions and billions of years. Some plants and animals disappeared, and some new ones appeared. This process is called evolution. By finding life somewhere else, scientists could find out if life always changes in the same way, or if it can be very different in other places. Searching for life on other planets also helps scientists understand Earth better. People can learn more about what makes Earth so good for life and what could make life easier or more difficult somewhere else. By comparing Earth to places that are almost like Earth, or very different, scientists find new clues about how everything fits together. One of the most important things that scientists look for is water. Water is needed by every living thing on Earth. People, animals, and plants all need water to live. In the search for life on other planets, water is often the first thing scientists try to find. If a planet has water, it has a better chance of having life. Temperature is also very important. If a planet is too hot, water dries up. If it is too cold, water turns to ice and stays frozen. For life to grow and survive, water must stay liquid for a long time. Scientists look for planets that are not too close or too far from their star, so the temperature is just right. Air is another very important part of life. Air is made of many different gases, like oxygen and carbon dioxide. People and animals breathe oxygen. Plants use carbon dioxide to grow. An atmosphere helps a planet hold on to air. The atmosphere can also protect living things from dangerous rays that come from space. Without an atmosphere, life has a harder time surviving. Sometimes, scientists use special telescopes to look for these things. They can study the light from faraway stars and planets. Light carries many secrets. By spreading out the light into its colors, scientists can see if there is water vapor or special gases like oxygen or methane in the air. These gases can be clues that life is present or possible. A big question that many people ask is, are we alone? Earth has many kinds of life, from small germs to people. But nobody has found life anywhere else. Finding even a very small hint of life on another planet would be one of the biggest discoveries ever made. It would tell people that life is not just something that happens here, but maybe everywhere in the universe. Scientists use many different methods to search for these signs of life. One way is by studying radio signals. People have made machines that send and receive radio waves. For many years, scientists have listened very carefully to signals coming from space, hoping to hear something that could only come from living creatures, maybe even intelligent ones. Another way to search is by sending robots to other planets in our own solar system. Robots have gone to Mars, Venus, and the Moon. Some robots have taken pictures, dug into the ground, and tested for chemicals that are needed for life. So far, no direct proof of life has been found, but scientists keep searching. Most planets are too far away to send robots. For exoplanets, scientists have to use telescopes and other machines to study them from a distance. Even though it is harder, every year these tools get better. With new technology, scientists can find more exoplanets and learn more about each one. Sometimes, scientists also look for planets that have the right size and gravity. If a planet is too small, it cannot hold onto its air. If it is too big, it might be made of gas, with no solid land for life to live on. Planets about the size of Earth are best for life as we know it. They are big enough to keep air, but not so big that they turn into gas giants. The search for life is not only about finding things like plants or animals. Even simple life, like tiny germs or bacteria, would be a very big find. These tiny living things are some of the first forms of life on Earth. If bacteria can live, it means more complex life could develop later, given enough time. Scientists also think about other ways life could exist. Maybe in some places, life could use chemicals that are different from what is found on Earth. For example, maybe life could use methane instead of water, or live in places that are much colder or hotter than anything on Earth. But for now, the only kind of life humans know is based on water, so that is where the search starts. Sometimes, the search for life is also a way to bring people together. Many countries send scientists and equipment to work together on these searches. People from different places and backgrounds all help each other look for life. They share what they find, and everyone learns together. The search for life also makes people think about their place in the universe. If life is found somewhere else, it could mean that life is very common. If no life is found, maybe Earth is rare and special. Both answers are important and help people understand more about themselves and the universe. Finding proof of life is a long process. It takes many years to build and use the right tools, and it takes time to study all the data. Many scientists work for their whole lives and do not see the answer. But every new clue, every new planet, every new experiment brings people closer to knowing the truth. Some scientists think that life might be very rare. Maybe the conditions that helped life start on Earth are not common. Maybe Earth is the only planet with life for millions of light years around. Other scientists think that life might be everywhere, just waiting to be found. Sometimes, scientists also search for biosignatures. Biosignatures are signs that could only be made by living things. For example, oxygen in the air, or certain shapes on the surface of a planet, or light that changes in a way that could only happen if something is alive. Biosignatures are very hard to find at long distances, but they are one of the most important things scientists look for. As more and more exoplanets are found, scientists learn that planets come in many sizes, shapes, and colors. Each new planet is a piece of a big puzzle. By putting all the pieces together, scientists get a better idea of where to look for life. When they find a planet that is about the size of Earth, at the right distance from its star, and maybe even with signs of water or air, it becomes very interesting. These planets are called potentially habitable planets. They do not prove that life is there, but they are the best places to look next. Some of the most exciting moments in science come when a new planet has everything needed for life. Even then, the next step is to find out if there is really life there or not. This can take a long time, and even then, there are many questions left to answer. The search for life on other planets is not just about looking far away. It also helps scientists understand more about how life works here on Earth. By seeing what life needs and how it survives in hard places, people learn more about what makes life possible. Some researchers even study very old rocks and fossils here on Earth to learn how life started and changed. These studies help figure out what to look for on other worlds. For example, if scientists find that life can live deep underground or in very salty water, then maybe they can look for those same kinds of places on other planets. Telescopes in space and on the ground work together to help search for planets and life. Some telescopes look for the light from a star getting dimmer when a planet passes in front of it. Other telescopes try to look at the light that comes from the planet itself. With special machines, they can sometimes find what the air on a planet is made of, or whether there might be clouds or water vapor New missions are always being planned. Some will send better telescopes into space. Some will use bigger computers to look at all the signals and data. Every year, these new tools make it easier to find small changes that could mean something exciting is out there. Many people believe that finding life somewhere else would change everything. It would make people think about their place in space in a new way. It could lead to more questions and even more discoveries. Other people are just curious and want to know, not because of what it means, but because learning new things is valuable. All of this work takes many people, many tools, and a lot of teamwork. Sometimes the search is slow, and sometimes there are new surprises. Every scientist working to find life is part of a big story that includes everyone on Earth. Each planet that is studied teaches something new. Sometimes scientists find out that a planet is too hot, too cold, or does not have air. Other times, they find a planet that seems like it could have all the right things. Every new piece of information helps guide where to look next and what to search for. As more exoplanets are discovered, scientists are not only looking for life exactly like Earth, they are also asking new questions about where life can start and what it can look like. This means the search keeps growing, and new ideas are tested all the time. Learning about other planets and looking for life is not just for scientists. Many people follow the news about discoveries and send questions to space agencies. People of all ages wonder what will be found next and what it could mean for everyone. Understanding more about life in space also helps prepare people for the future. One day, humans may travel to other planets or live in new places far from Earth. Knowing what is needed for life to survive can help make future trips safer and more successful. Day by day, new tools and discoveries bring everyone closer to understanding one of the biggest questions. Is life rare or common? And if it is common, what will it be like? Will it be simple or complex? Friendly or dangerous? Will it look like life on Earth? Each day, science gives more clues. Even if scientists do not find living things right away, every search teaches new facts. By looking for life, people also find out more about other worlds, about the universe, and about themselves. In addition to asking if life could exist beyond Earth, scientists also want to know what makes a planet able to support life. Finding the right conditions is a big step toward finding life. Understanding what is needed for life to begin and stay alive on a planet is the next important part of the search. To understand if a planet can support life, it is very important to look at what life needs. All living things, as we know them, require some basic things for survival and growth. On Earth, these needs are easy to see. By learning about these needs, scientists can look for the same conditions on other planets. One of the most important things for life is temperature. Life on Earth needs temperatures that are not too hot and not too cold. Water must be in its liquid form most of the time. When it is too hot, water turns into gas and leaves the surface. When it is too cold, water turns into ice. Most plants and animals cannot live when it is always freezing or always boiling. Scientists search for exoplanets that are just the right distance from their star, so the planet is not burning or frozen all the time. There is a special area around every star called the habitable zone. In this area, a planet can keep liquid water on its surface because temperatures can stay between freezing and boiling for long periods. Water itself is the second key thing for life. On Earth, every living thing uses water. Animals drink water. Plants use water to grow. Even the smallest bacteria need water to live and move. Water helps move food and energy inside living things. No life has been found without water. So, when scientists look at new planets, they try to find out if water could exist there. This is why areas with frozen water, like certain icy moons in our own solar system, still interest scientists. If these places ever warm up, water can melt and life could start. The third important thing is the atmosphere. The atmosphere is the layer of gas around a planet. Earth's atmosphere keeps air for people and animals to breathe, and it protects life from dangerous space radiation. It also keeps Earth warm by trapping some of the heat from the sun. Without an atmosphere, strong solar rays can quickly harm or kill living things, and temperatures can change too much between day and night. The right kind of atmosphere is important. Too thin, and it cannot hold enough air or keep the planet warm. Too thick, and the air may be very heavy, making it hard to breathe. Scientists use special telescopes to look for signs of atmospheres on distant planets by studying the light that passes through them. These are the three main things that life as we know it needs: the right temperature, liquid water, and an atmosphere. But there are other conditions that make it easier for life to begin and grow. For example, a planet needs some chemical elements. Carbon is very important because it forms the main building blocks of living things. Other important elements are hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, and phosphorus. These elements help form proteins, DNA, and other things that living creatures need. Most planets form with these elements already inside them or falling onto them from space. Scientists look for planets made mostly of rock, as rock can hold and release important elements. Some gases in the air, like oxygen and carbon dioxide, are also important. On Earth, plants turn carbon dioxide into oxygen, and animals use oxygen to breathe. This balance helps keep life going. A planet's size is also important. If a planet is much smaller than Earth, it may lose its air into space. A very small planet might cool down quickly, freeze solid, and not have any liquid water. If a planet is much larger than Earth, it could have too much gravity, pulling in thick layers of gas and becoming a gas giant, not a rocky planet. Scientists look for planets that are about the same size and mass as Earth or just a little bigger. These planets are the most likely to have the right kind of surface and air. Gravity is what keeps the air and water on a planet's surface. Without enough gravity, air escapes easily into space and water also leaves. On smaller planets, weak gravity lets the important gases escape. On very big gas planets, gravity pulls in so much gas that the surface is hidden under thick clouds and there is nowhere solid for life to survive. Another thing to look for is the planet's magnetic field. Earth has a strong magnetic field, which acts like a shield. This shield protects the planet from harsh solar winds and space particles that can destroy the air and harm living things. The magnetic field comes from the movement of liquid metal deep inside the planet. Not all planets have this, but it is very helpful for life. Planets without a magnetic field may lose their air much faster, or life may be in danger from strong space weather. A stable surface is also good for life. On Earth, there are mountains, rivers, plains, oceans, and deserts. These different areas give many places for life to appear and grow. Planets where the ground changes too much, or where there are many volcanoes or earthquakes all the time, might be difficult places for life to survive. Too many natural disasters could slow down the start of life or make it hard for life to continue. The night and day cycle is another important thing. Day gives energy because of sunlight. Sunlight helps plants grow, and animals use it to warm their bodies. If the planet spins too slowly, one side may always be hot and the other side may always be cold. If the planet spins too quickly, the temperature may change too much. A good rotation speed lets life use light and warmth during the day and cool down at night. Seasons also matter. Seasons are caused by the way the planet is tilted as it goes around the star. On Earth, this tilt gives different weather at different times, helping plants and animals to grow in many places. Planets with no seasons might have less variety in climate, and this can affect how life grows. So when scientists study a planet, they look at many questions. Is the planet at the right distance from its star for the perfect temperature? Could there be liquid water on the surface? Is there an atmosphere, and what is it made of? What elements are in the air and on the ground? How big and heavy is the planet? Is there a magnetic field for protection? How stable is the ground? What is the length of a day or year? Are there seasons? Special telescopes collect information to help answer these questions. Some telescopes look at the color of light from distant planets. This light can show what gases are in the air. Some telescopes can tell if the surface might be water, ice, or rock. Over time, scientists put together all this information to see if a planet looks promising for life. When a planet has most or all of the good conditions, it is called a habitable planet. Habitable means able to support life. Scientists have found many planets that might be habitable, but most are very far away. The information is not always complete. Some planets are close to the correct distance from their star, but it is hard to tell if there is really water or a good atmosphere. For now, Earth is the only planet known with life. It is also possible that life on other planets could be different from what we know. Maybe there are new forms of life that do not need the same things as life on Earth. Scientists think about these ideas too, but they start their search with what is known to work here. Life also needs time to develop. If a planet is very young, it may be too hot, full of dangerous chemicals, or hit by space rocks often. On young planets, the surface can change quickly. As planets get older, they cool down, and conditions become more stable. This stability is very good for life. The Sun is about 4.5 billion years old, and Earth has had life for most of that time. Sometimes planets change. Maybe a planet that started with water and air lost them over time because it was too small or too close to its star. Mars, in our own solar system, once had water flowing on its surface for millions of years. Now Mars is mostly dry and cold because it lost much of its air and water. Other planets can start off empty but gain what they need later. Big space rocks, called asteroids or comets, can crash into planets and bring important things like water and organic materials. Some scientists believe that early Earth got its water from such impacts. If this happens on distant worlds, it could help life start there too. The star itself also affects if a planet can be habitable. Some stars are very bright and hot, others are dim and cool. Bright, hot stars do not live as long. If a planet's star ends its life quickly, there may not be enough time for life to begin. Dim and cool stars can live for trillions of years, but their planets may get only a little light and may be cold or frozen. The best stars for life are ones that shine for billions of years and do not change too much. This gives planets a long, steady time for life to begin and grow. Scientists keep trying to find out how many habitable planets there are in the universe. They use everything they know about temperature, water, air, size, and stars to estimate. Every year, new tools and telescopes help improve these estimates and find new worlds to study. When a planet looks like it has many of the good conditions, it becomes a very exciting place to study next. Scientists send more telescopes to look at it, they study its light in more detail, and they look for even small signs that life could have started. There are not only single planets being studied. Sometimes 2 or more planets circle the same star, and some may be in the habitable zone. These places are very interesting because they may have different climates and maybe even exchange materials between them. This gives more chances for life to begin. Some scientists also study moons that orbit planets. In our own solar system, there are moons with ice and water under their surface. If moons outside our solar system, called exomoons, have the same things, they may also have the right conditions for life. These moons are harder to find, but they could be important in the search. Finding a planet with all the perfect conditions is very rare. Most planets have some, but not all of what is needed. Some may be too cold, others too hot, too big, or too small. Some may have air, but not much water. But even when only some things are right, scientists want to keep learning more. It is possible that life can adapt to different conditions. On Earth, some life lives in very salty water, others in acid, and some deep under the ground. These forms of life are called extremophiles. They show that living things can be very tough. This gives hope that life can survive in places that do not seem perfect. Every time scientists find a new planet, they ask these same questions. Is it the right temperature? Does it have water? Can it keep an atmosphere? And is it safe for life to grow? As technology gets better, more and more answers become possible. Some worlds that seem very promising today may turn out to be not so good for life when more information is collected. Other worlds that seem unlikely might surprise everyone. Science is a process of making guesses, checking facts, and learning more each day. Even mistakes help show what to try next. The search for habitable planets is one of the most exciting parts of modern science. It brings together ideas from astronomy, geology, chemistry, and biology. People from all over the world work together to share information and learn from each other. To be sure that life can start and stay alive, the planet must keep its good conditions for millions or billions of years. This gives life a chance to move from simple forms to more complex ones, to fill the land, water, and air. Over time, new surprises can happen, and life can take many different shapes. When people see that a planet far away has the right size, distance from its star, water, air, and the right elements, they become more hopeful that life could exist there. The next step is to find planets that are even better for life than Earth. By understanding what makes a planet suitable for life, scientists begin to look for places that may be even more promising, where life might have an even better chance to begin and grow strong. Sometimes, when scientists look at planets with good conditions for life, they see that some might be even better for life than Earth itself. This idea is called super-habitable planets. A super-habitable planet is a world where living things might have an easier time starting and growing than they do on Earth. To understand what makes a planet super-habitable, it is important to think about what helps life flourish and become strong over a very long time. On Earth, life changed and developed slowly across billions of years, but there were also tough periods with big disasters that made it harder for many kinds of life to survive. A super-habitable planet should be a place where even more types of life have the opportunity to appear, survive, and grow for a long period without as many dangers. One thing that scientists look for in a super-habitable planet is very mild and stable temperatures. The planet should not be too hot or too cold for most of the time. It should have comfortable days and nights with small changes in temperature. If temperatures stay in a good range for life most of the time, this gives plants, animals, and other living things a better chance to adapt and thrive everywhere on the planet, not just in a few special places. Another important part of superhabitability is the amount of water. A superhabitable planet will have more water than Earth. Water can cover much of the surface, creating bigger oceans, more lakes, many rivers, and wet areas. This gives many different places where life can first begin and then spread to many different parts of the planet. With more water, life is not limited to small areas. Instead, plants and animals can move, grow, and change in many new ways. More water also helps the weather stay gentle, because water absorbs heat and shares it around the planet. The land on a superhabitable planet is also important. If the land is spread evenly and there are not many very high mountains or too many empty deserts, there are more places for life to appear. If there are many islands, lakes, or shallow seas, life can move between them. This helps different kinds of life develop and makes it possible for life to last, even if some areas become too hard. A super-habitable planet should also have a thick but not too thick atmosphere. The air should protect living things from dangerous radiation from space and strong winds from the planet's star. At the same time, it should let enough light reach the ground for plants to grow. If the air is balanced, with the right mix of gases like oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon dioxide, more types of life could appear. A thick atmosphere keeps heat in, so the climate stays soft and stable without very cold nights or very hot days. The stability of the climate is very important for superhabitability. On a superhabitable planet, storms, floods, and fires should not happen too often. This lets forests, grasslands, and other living places grow for millions of years without being destroyed. In a stable climate, life does not have to keep starting over but can keep getting more complex and interesting. A good planet for life also has gentle seasons, not extreme changes. If a planet has a small tilt, its seasons are not too different from each other. This helps plants and animals live through the whole year. More relaxed seasons mean that food and water are available for a longer time. With fewer hard times, more different kinds of life can survive in the same place, and animals and plants do not need to travel very far to find better weather. The position and type of the star is another key thing. A superhabitable planet goes around a star that is steady and not too bright or dim. Good stars are not too young or too old. Young stars can give off many sudden blasts called flares, which can hurt living things. Old stars may stop giving enough energy, making the planet cold. A steady, calm star shines with even warmth and light for many billions of years. This gives all living things time to appear and grow. Superhabitable planets often go around stars that are just a little smaller and cooler than our Sun. These stars, called K-dwarf stars, can shine gently for up to 30 or 40 billion years. This long lifespan means any planet nearby has plenty of time for life. The planet should also go around its star in a circle that does not change too much. If the circle is too wide or very stretched, the planet could have crazy seasons and big swings in heat and cold. A round, regular path helps keep the weather safe and life possible. The size of a superhabitable planet is important too. Scientists believe a planet just a little bigger than Earth, maybe about 1.5 times Earth's size, could be even better for life. This is because more land and more water mean more places for life to live. A bigger planet also holds its atmosphere better. The gravity is a bit stronger, so less air escapes into space. A larger planet can keep water on its surface for billions of years instead of losing it. It is also useful if a superhabitable planet is a bit older than Earth. Life on Earth took a long time to get started, and even longer to become complex. If a planet is older, it gives life more time to begin, change, and spread out. It could be that on an older, steady planet, life has had a chance to become very rich and interesting, with many kinds of plants, animals, and even other living things that humans have not imagined yet. The soil on a superhabitable planet should be full of nutrients. These nutrients help plants grow easily. If the ground is made from old rocks that have broken down over millions of years, there are more nutrients. Good soil helps plants to cover the land, and when there are many plants, there can be more animals and other living things as well. On a superhabitable planet, the air might have just the right amount of oxygen. Too little oxygen and big animals cannot live. Too much oxygen and fires become common. The balance lets many different animals live together safely. The right mix of gases is kept by having plenty of water, many plants, and quiet volcanoes that let out safe amounts of gases without too much pollution. These planets also need to avoid too many disasters. If a planet gets hit by many big rocks from space or has too many huge volcanoes, it is hard for life to take hold. A safe planet stays away from busy parts of its star system where big space rocks fly around. Its ground is mostly quiet, with only gentle hills and the right amount of volcanoes to help add nutrients, but not to destroy all life. Stable weather patterns and many different places to live are important as well. A super habitable planet will have forests, rivers, warm, shallow seas, and gentle hills. The different areas are not too hard to move between, so life can spread easily. In these gentle places, new forms of life have room to appear and grow. The best superhabitable planets also have a soft glow from the star, not too strong so the surface does not get burned. Plants can safely use the light to grow through photosynthesis without burning or freezing. With many plants growing easily, more animals can find food and shelter. Forests, grasslands, and lakes can cover much of the planet. The day on a superhabitable planet may also last a bit longer than on Earth. A slightly longer day can mean more time for plants to make energy from sunlight and nights that are not too cold for living things. The year should not be much longer than Earth's year, so that seasons are not too long and do not cause hard times. All these features together make superhabitable planets special. These planets can have more kinds of life with more stable and gentle conditions than Earth does. Life can appear in many places and survive hard times more easily. With quiet weather and rich land and water, living things could develop for billions of years without being stopped by too many disasters. Scientists are very interested in finding superhabitable planets because they could teach people more about how life works and why it grows in some places but not in others. By studying these planets, it is possible to understand what is needed for a world to be a true home for many types of life. It can also help answer questions about why Earth is as it is and if it could ever be improved. The search for these planets uses many kinds of equipment and ideas. Scientists use calculations to estimate which stars are best to look at. They listen to the star's light to study what kind of star it is, how old it is, and how steady its light is. They also look for planets at just the right distance, not too close to get burnt, not too far and frozen. With every new tool, more details about these worlds are discovered. Telescopes can now tell the mass and size of planets, what their air is made of, and even hints about weather and clouds. In the future, new telescopes might be able to see green forests, blue oceans, or even the colors of living things themselves. Some scientists think there may be superhabitable planets with even more interesting kinds of life than seen on Earth. On such a world with good water, land, gentle seasons, and the right mix of gases, life could cover nearly the whole surface. There may be floating islands, undersea forests, and deep caves full of new forms of life. Life might fill every corner where light and water reach. The idea of superhabitable planets also gives new hope for finding life outside Earth. Many planets may be even better than Earth for supporting life. Maybe in the future, people will find animals, plants, or other living things that are even more advanced, or that live in new ways humans have not imagined. Superhabitable planets are not always easy to find. Scientists must look for many clues at the same time. A planet could look the right size but be too close to its star, or have the right temperature but a dangerous, unstable star. Sometimes further study is needed before a planet can be called truly superhabitable. Even though Earth is the only world known with life, the idea of superhabitable planets invites scientists to look for even better places. It shows that the conditions for life may exist in many forms, and that some places could help life start, survive, and grow beyond what is possible on Earth. Finding these planets is important because they may tell something about the future of life. Facing changes on Earth, people may one day want to visit or even live on new worlds. If a super-habitable planet is found close enough, maybe it will be possible to reach it, study it, and learn from it. As the search for super-habitable planets continues, scientists become more skilled at picking out the worlds with the best chances for life. Each new discovery brings more knowledge, shows more possibilities, and helps everyone understand what makes a planet truly special for living things. The next step is to look even more closely at the most important things for life, such as water and climate, to learn how these work on super-habitable planets and what they could mean for life everywhere. On every world where life could exist, water and climate are two of the most important things. Scientists look at them very carefully because these two parts shape everything about how life can begin, survive, and change on a planet. Water is needed by every known living thing, and climate controls if places are calm and safe or if they are too harsh for life. Water is special because it helps living things grow, move, and take in food. On Earth, water covers most of the land. There are oceans, rivers, lakes, and even water in the air as clouds or rain. All plants, animals, and people need water to live. Water acts as a home for some kinds of life, like fish or plants, and it is needed for all living things to stay alive, even those that live on land. When scientists think about other planets, they always ask if there is water. If a planet does not have any water, it is almost impossible for life to exist there. Water can be liquid, ice, or gas. But for life, liquid water is the most important. That is because only liquid water can move around, carry food, and control temperature. Ice is important too, because it can keep water safe for a long time. If a planet is too hot, water turns to gas and goes into the air. If a planet is too cold, water freezes, and living things may not have the liquid they need. Finding liquid water on other planets is hard. Scientists use telescopes to look for signs that water may be on a planet's surface or in its atmosphere. When a planet has the right temperature, not too hot and not too cold, it is more likely to have liquid water. This good area, called the habitable zone, is the place around a star where water can stay liquid for a long time. Planets that are in this zone are the most interesting to scientists looking for life. On super-habitable planets, scientists believe there could be even more water than on Earth. This could mean there are many large lakes and shallow seas. Water would cover more of the planet, making it easier for life to appear in different places. Shallow water also gives more sunlight for life living in water, and it makes it easier for new types of life to start. Oceans and lakes help move heat around the planet so that one part does not get too hot or too cold. Climate is the way weather acts over many years. It is not just what the weather is on one day, but the pattern of rain, sunshine, clouds, wind, and storms year after year. Good climates make life easier. If the climate is steady and does not change fast, living things have many chances to survive and grow. If the climate changes wildly, life has a hard time because there may be too much heat or cold, or water may disappear. On Earth, there are many types of climate. Some places are almost always warm and wet, while others are cold or dry. Life on Earth has learned how to live in most of these places, but it is easiest where the climate is gentle and stable. If a planet has a nice climate, with regular seasons and mild changes, more kinds of life can exist. If there are many storms or the weather changes suddenly, life must work very hard to survive. On super-habitable planets, scientists think the climate would be even better than Earth's. The weather would be calm. There would not be many big storms, long droughts, or freezing winters. Gentle rain might come often, and the temperature would not swing from very hot to very cold. This kind of climate helps plants, animals, and other living things grow all year, and it does not force them to hide from danger for long times. One reason for this gentle climate on superhabitable planets is the large amount of water. Water holds heat and spreads it around. When there is a lot of water in the form of oceans, lakes, and wet places, it collects heat during the day and lets it go at night. This keeps temperatures steady and comfortable. The air above the water is moist, so it rains regularly, and the sky is often cloudy but not stormy. The atmosphere also helps control the climate. A thick atmosphere with the right mix of gases traps enough warmth from the star so that the planet does not get too cold at night or too hot during the day. The clouds and moisture in the air protect the land and water from sudden changes. With the right atmosphere, the planet's surface temperature stays in a safe range for most living things. Plants need water to make their food from sunlight, a process called photosynthesis. When there is plenty of water and the climate is gentle, there are more plants. When there are more plants, animals have more places to live and more food to eat. The planet becomes full of different kinds of life, all living together in balance. Small creatures feed on plants, bigger animals feed on small creatures, and the balance of life keeps going for millions of years. Another helpful part of water on a superhabitable planet is the support it gives to chemical reactions. Life needs many chemical reactions to take place, so things like DNA, proteins, and living cells can form. Water is the best liquid found so far for helping these reactions happen. Where there is liquid water, the important building blocks for life can move, connect, and build new things over time. Water also breaks down rocks and brings nutrients to plants. When rain falls and rivers flow, they pick up pieces of rock and dirt. These carry important nutrients to different places, making soil rich and helping plants grow stronger. When water is common and moves around the planet, every part of the land can have the right materials for life. Gentle climates with plenty of water help to create special living places called ecosystems. On Earth, there are forests, grasslands, wetlands, and coral reefs, all filled with different forms of life. On a superhabitable planet, scientists believe there could be even more kinds of ecosystems, each with special plants and animals. Some places might have deep forests with tall trees, while other places might have endless fields of flowers. Swamps, lakes, and rivers could be everywhere, and many kinds of fish, insects, birds, and mammals could live together. Another part of climate that helps life is mild seasons. When seasons change gently, plants and animals have time to get ready for warm or cold times. They can grow, mate, and collect food before the weather changes. If a planet has a small tilt, its seasons are not very sharp. The weather changes, but only a little, and living things can keep going. Rain is very important on any planet with water. Regular rain keeps the land moist, fills rivers and lakes, and waters the plants. On a superhabitable planet, the rain might come softly, with gentle showers just enough to help plants and not wash away the soil. Water in the air keeps everything fresh, and the cycle of rain and sun never stops for too long. Oceans are some of the best homes for life. Water moves in currents, carrying heat and food from one place to another. Scientists think the oceans on a superhabitable planet could be larger but shallower than those on Earth. This gives more places for sunlight to reach, helping plants and tiny living things grow. Shallow seas can also help make more places for animals to live, from the surface to the bottom. Ice is also part of water on many planets. On Earth, ice is found at the poles. It is important because it helps control how much heat the planet keeps and how much goes back into space. On a super-habitable planet, there could be smaller areas covered in ice, with most of the water staying liquid. This gives life more places to grow and makes it easier for animals and plants to move from one place to another. Clouds are made of tiny drops of water in the air. They help control climate by reflecting sunlight and by bringing rain. On a planet with much water and a gentle climate, there may be many clouds. These clouds keep sunlight soft, protect the land from getting too hot, and make sure rain is regular. Rain clouds are part of the water cycle that connects land, ocean, air, and plants. The water cycle is a never-ending process. First, water on the surface heats up and turns into vapor, which rises into the sky as a gas. Then it cools, forms clouds, and comes back to the ground as rain. This cycle keeps water fresh, moves nutrients, and helps every living thing. Without this cycle, some places would dry up while others flood, and life would have many more problems. Climate and water can also protect life from dangers. On some planets, the star gives off strong rays that can hurt living things. A wet planet with a thick, cloudy sky can block much of this harmful energy. This means that plants and animals are safer and can grow for a longer time. Volcanoes and earthquakes can change the climate on a planet. On Earth, volcanoes can send ash into the sky, making the air cold for a long time. On a superhabitable planet, there are fewer big volcanoes or earthquakes, so the climate is not changed by these disasters. This lets water, sun, and air do their job without too much trouble. Sometimes life can even help control climate. On Earth, forests help clean the air and store water. Large groups of trees pull carbon dioxide out of the air, keeping the planet cooler. On a superhabitable planet, if many plants cover the ground, the climate can stay stable for longer times, and rain can keep coming year after year. Gentle weather is also important for spreading life. When winds are calm and seas are smooth, seeds from plants and small creatures can travel far and start new life in empty places. Birds and animals can move from one area to another without danger. This means there are more chances for life to cover the whole planet. Seas and lakes create safe places where life can begin and grow. On Earth, many life forms started in shallow seas, where sunlight and nutrients are easy to find. The same could happen on a superhabitable planet with many warm, shallow seas. These special places are like small homes for new life to start before spreading out to new places. Not all water is the same. Some water is salty and some is fresh. Lakes, rivers, and rain are usually fresh water. Oceans are salty. Both are important for life, and together they give many choices for plants and animals. On a superhabitable planet, there could be many kinds of water, giving even more homes for different living things. When scientists search for other planets to visit or study, they look for clues that point to water and gentle climates. They study reflected light, changes in the brightness of planets, and signs of clouds or moisture in the air. When they find signs that a planet has a lot of water and a good climate, it becomes one of the best places to look for life. All these ideas help guide scientists when they search for signs of life far away. Planets with the most water and best climates are not always easy to find, but every year, new telescopes and better computers help find more clues. When scientists study these clues, they learn not only about possible life on other planets, but also about how Earth's own water and climate help keep life going here. Finding a planet with better water and climate than Earth is exciting. Such a world could be filled with many more kinds of plants and animals, all living together in peace. A gentle planet with calm climates, lots of rain, and plenty of water may even teach people how to take care of Earth better. Learning about the climate and water on other worlds connects closely with how those planets move around their stars and the type of star they have. The distance from the star, the type of light a star gives, and the way the planet travels all help decide how much water and what kind of climate a world might have. All these pieces work together to make life possible, and they help scientists pick which planets to study next. The way a planet moves around its star and the type of star it orbits are also key parts in deciding if life can exist there. Everything about water, weather, and temperature depends on the energy from a star and how the planet travels. If a planet is too close to its star, it gets too much heat. If it is too far, it does not get enough. The right amount of heat and light comes only when the planet is at a special distance, called the habitable zone. The habitable zone is the area around a star where water can be liquid for a long time. If a planet travels in this zone, there are better chances for the climate to be stable and for rivers, oceans, and lakes to exist. On Earth, the planet is inside this zone, and this is why water remains liquid and life is possible. Each star has a different habitable zone. Big, bright stars give out much more energy, so their habitable zone is farther away. Small, cool stars do not give much energy, so their zone is closer in. If a planet is just right inside its star's zone, it might keep gentle temperatures and stay wet for millions or billions of years. But just being in the right zone is not always enough. The planet's journey around the star can change everything. One important thing is the shape of the path, called an orbit. If the orbit is very round, the planet always stays about the same distance from the star. This helps the climate stay the same. If the orbit is stretched out, sometimes the planet is very close to the star, and sometimes very far away. This makes seasons much more extreme, and the planet may get frozen sometimes or too hot at other times. A steady, round orbit helps keep the climate stable. The speed of the planet's travel matters as well. If a year, the time it takes to go all the way around the star, is too long, seasons may be so long that some cannot survive through a whole hot or cold season. If a year is short, seasons change very quickly. On Earth, the year is about 365 days long. Superhabitable planets may have years not too different from this, though the exact length depends on the star. The tilt of the planet is also important. Earth is tilted, and this tilt gives 4 seasons: winter, summer, spring, and autumn. A little tilt is good because it means that the climate changes gently through the year. If there is no tilt at all, the climate does not change much, and some areas may never get a break from heat or cold. Too much tilt, and the planet can have very harsh seasons where life has trouble living through the changes. The type of star plays a big role in everything. Stars are born, live for billions of years, and then die. Some stars burn very fast and live only a short time. Others shine gently for much longer. The color, size, and age of the star change how it gives energy to any planets nearby. There are many kinds of stars, but the most important for life are steady, calm stars that last a long time. The Sun is a type of star called a G-dwarf. Other stars called K-dwarfs are just a little smaller, and they shine with a gentle orange light. These K-dwarfs can keep shining for tens of billions of years, longer than the Sun. There are also M-dwarfs, which are even smaller and cooler, but they are not always calm. Very small stars can send out bursts of harmful energy, which can be dangerous for life. Bigger stars, called A-stars or F-stars, are very bright, but they run out of fuel too quickly, often in just a few 100 million years, so there is not enough time for life to begin and grow. Good stars for life are those that burn gently and evenly, without big outbursts or quick changes. Calm stars let planets stay in the habitable zone for a very long time, so that life has plenty of chances to begin, survive, and get more complex. Scientists often study K-dwarfs and G-dwarfs because their light is steady and they give planets good conditions. How long a star lives is important too. If a star only shines for a short time, life cannot start easily. Life on Earth took billions of years to grow from tiny cells into trees, animals, and people. If the star burns out too fast, there is not enough time for these changes. Stars that live much longer are better for life because they give steady heat and light for life to use. How stable the star is also matters. Some stars change how bright they are very often or send out waves of strong rays. These rays can hurt living things or push away the air around a planet. A calm, steady star is safer for life. It keeps the planet warm and gives always the same level of sunlight. Sometimes a planet is very close to its star. On these close-in planets, one side always faces the star, so it is always very hot, and the other side stays in the dark, so it is always very cold. Only a narrow part of the planet where light and dark meet may stay at a good temperature. Other planets spin as they go around the star, so all sides get sunlight and night, which helps the temperature stay even. A planet's own movement can also help or hurt life. If the planet spins very quickly, it has short days and nights. Very long days or nights, on the other hand, can change how warm or cold it gets. A steady spin, with regular day and night, is good for a stable climate and helps plants grow. The group of planets around a star can also matter. Sometimes, big gas giants orbit near a star, and their strong gravity can push or pull other planets. This can make the path of the smaller planets wobbly, or it can send dangerous rocks towards them. If the system has too many big gas giants in strange orbits, the smaller planets might not stay in the habitable zone for long. A planet's magnetic field comes from its spinning metal core. This invisible shield protects life by stopping strong space rays from the star and from space. It also keeps the air from blowing away. If a planet does not have a strong magnetic field, solar energy can push the air off into space. Over time, the planet can lose its air and water, making it hard for life to survive. Earth has a strong magnetic field since it spins fast and has a core of liquid metal. Super-habitable planets may also have strong magnetic fields that keep their air and water safe for billions of years. The way planets go around stars can make a difference for seasons and climate. When a planet's path is more stretched or elliptical, the difference in sunlight between the closest and farthest parts of the orbit can be big. This makes some years much warmer or colder than others, and plants and animals might have trouble keeping up. On round orbits, the temperature does not change much from year to year. Some stars have more than one planet in the habitable zone. This gives more places where life could start. Sometimes, even moons around big planets in the habitable zone might have water and the right temperatures. These moons are called exomoons, and they might have their own air and water, just like planets. Scientists are still searching for exomoons, but they could help explain the story of life in space. Clouds and air on the planet also depend on the star and the planet's movement. The warmth from the star helps water to evaporate and make clouds, and the speed of the spin on the planet helps move air around. The type of light from the star changes how clouds form and how strong the wind is. A star's light can be different colors. Some stars give mostly blue and white light. Others are more orange or red. The color of the star changes what kind of energy the planet gets and how easy it is for plants to use the light. Plants on Earth are green, but on planets around other stars, plants might be other colors so they can use the light better. This makes each world special, and scientists try to guess what life might look like under different stars. Sometimes, dust or gas around a star can block or change the light that reaches a planet. If there is too much dust, the planet might not get enough sunlight. If there is not enough dust, the planet could get too much light and heat. The best condition is when there is just the right amount of clear space for safe sunlight to reach the planet's ground and water. When a star is very active, sending out strong rays, it helps if the planet has a thick atmosphere. This air can protect plants and animals. If the air is too thin, more harmful energy gets in and life can have problems surviving. Super-habitable planets are thought to have thick, safe atmospheres as well as calm, steady stars. The star's age is a clue for scientists. A young star may be wild and dangerous, giving off blasts of energy that make life hard. An older star is calm, but if it is too old, it might not give enough energy. The best time for life is when the star is in the middle stage of life, not too young and not too old, when it shines steady and strong for billions of years. If a planet is in a group of stars called a binary or multiple system, things can get complex. Sometimes a planet goes around 2 or more stars. In some cases, the seasons and light on the planet can change a lot. This kind of planet might have a climate that is always changing, with times of too much heat or cold. It is easier for life to survive when there is just one calm, steady star. The place where the star and its planets are in the galaxy matters too. Near the center of a galaxy, there are many more stars and more chance of big explosions that can harm life. Far from the center, there may not be enough of the right kinds of elements for life. The safest place is in the calm middle part of a galaxy, where massive explosions are rare and the star can shine for a long time. Super-habitable planets are more likely to be found around steady, long-living stars in the middle areas of calm galaxies. They usually have regular, round orbits, slow changes in seasons, and enough water and atmosphere to keep life safe. When a planet has all these good conditions, a safe and gentle star, the right kind of orbit, a steady climate, and strong protection from space, it is a better place for life. These planets are rare, but scientists are finding more each year as telescopes get better. The next step for many scientists is to actually find and study these planets. It is not easy to see distant worlds, but new tools make this possible. Special telescopes can see slight changes in the brightness of stars, tiny wobbles in their light, or even faint colors that come from a planet's air. Each discovery teaches more about how planets and stars work together and what is needed for life to begin. Scientists use many ways to search for planets, such as watching for when a planet goes in front of its star, or looking for tiny pulls on the star caused by the planet's gravity. All this is to learn more about the best places to look for life and to someday find a place that is truly perfect for living things. As we study the paths of planets and the light from stars, people are getting closer to the first real look at another world that might be even better for life than Earth. When that day comes, new questions will rise, and scientists will continue working to understand and study these new, exciting places. The process of discovery continues as scientists develop better tools and find more clues about distant planets and the stars they orbit. Finding the places most likely to have life leads to the next important step, learning exactly how to discover these distant worlds and gather information about what they are really like. To learn more about distant planets and the stars they orbit, scientists have developed many ways to look for them and to study what they are like. Every year, people invent better tools, build new telescopes, and use smarter computers to discover planets far outside our own solar system. These planets are called exoplanets, and finding them is not simple. They are very far from Earth, and their stars are much brighter than they are. This means it is hard to see the planet directly. But over the last few decades, scientists have found ways to notice even tiny signs that a planet is there. One of the most common and successful ways to find exoplanets is to use something called the transit method. In this method, telescopes watch a star carefully night after night. When a planet crosses in front of its star as seen from Earth, the star's light drops just a little for a short time. If this small dip in brightness happens again and again, always the same amount, scientists can guess that a planet is going around the star. By measuring how long it takes for the dip to happen again, scientists can learn how fast the planet travels around its star. By studying how much the light drops, they can tell how big the planet is compared to its star. Sometimes, more than one planet orbits a single star, and several dips happen at different times. Using large amounts of data and repeating patterns, scientists can find out the planet's size, time of its year, and even its possible temperature. There is another way to discover exoplanets, called the radial velocity method. In this method, scientists look at the star's light for tiny changes. As a planet moves around a star, the star wobbles very slightly because the planet's gravity is pulling on it. This wobble changes the color of the star's light in a small way. By using special tools that split the star's light into different colors, scientists notice this wobble even when they cannot see the planet itself. If the wobble repeats again and again with a regular pattern, it shows that a planet is moving around the star. Sometimes the star wobbles more, which means the planet is big. If it wobbles less, the planet is probably smaller. This method also helps scientists guess the planet's mass, how heavy the planet is, and its orbit around the star. Both the transit method and the radial velocity method have helped scientists discover thousands of exoplanets. Each new planet brings new questions. Is it rocky like Earth or made mostly of gas like Jupiter? Is it very hot, very cold, or just right for water and life? To answer those questions, scientists use other methods and bigger telescopes. The direct imaging method is when they try to actually see the planet by blocking out the star's bright light. This uses special tools called coronagraphs or star shades. With these tools, the light from the star is covered, and the faint light from the planet nearby can appear. Very few exoplanets have been seen this way, because it works only if the planet is big, far from its star, and the system is not too far from Earth. Still, each picture gives important clues about what the planet is like. Another way is to study the way light bends when a planet passes in front of a distant star. This method is called gravitational microlensing. When a planet and its star pass in front of a much more distant star, their gravity bends the light from the faraway star. This bent light is seen as a quick brightening, which tells scientists that a planet is there, how big it is, and how far from its star it sits. Each of these ways of discovering planets needs strong, careful tools. Space telescopes, which float above the Earth's air, are some of the best tools for this job. They can look without clouds, night, or sunlight getting in the way. One very important space telescope was called Kepler. Kepler watched more than 150,000 stars for several years and found thousands of new planets using the transit method. Other telescopes on Earth help too. They check and prove what the space telescopes find. There are big telescopes in Chile, Hawaii, Spain, and other places. They use mirrors and powerful cameras to study the small signs from far-off planets. Once a new planet is found, scientists want to know what it is made of. Is it made of rocks, water, or gas? Does it have an atmosphere? To find out, they study the star's light when it passes through the planet's air during a transit. This is called the transmission spectroscopy method. The planet's atmosphere absorbs certain colors of the star's light. By looking at which colors are missing, scientists learn what the air is made of. Maybe hydrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, water vapor, or something else. Learning about a planet's air is important. If the air has water vapor, that is a good clue for life. If it has oxygen or methane, it could mean something is alive or there are interesting chemical reactions. These studies help scientists choose the most interesting planets for further study. The shape and content of an atmosphere help show whether a world can keep heat, block harmful rays, and have good weather. Special machines can also measure a planet's temperature. They look at the heat coming from the planet in the form of infrared light. If a planet is too hot or too cold, it is less likely to have life as people know it. If the temperature is just right for liquid water, scientists get more interested. The mass and size of a planet tell if it is rocky, watery, or made of gas. By using both the transit and the radial velocity methods together, scientists get the size and mass. If a planet is very big but not heavy, it is probably a gas world. If it is smaller and very heavy, it is rocky, like Earth. The right size, mass, and temperature are clues that a planet might support life. The next big step in exoplanet study is to look for biosignatures. These are signs that could mean there is life. On Earth, life changes the air in clear ways. For example, photosynthesis by plants adds oxygen to the air. If a telescope finds a planet with oxygen and a bit of methane together, that is difficult to explain unless something is alive making these gases. Some other biosignatures are water vapor, ozone, and carbon dioxide in certain patterns. It is not easy to be sure. There are reasons why these gases might be there even with no life. Scientists have to be careful and use many tests before they say life may be present. More than one kind of evidence is best. This is why studying many planets, not just one, is helpful. Every year, new technology helps study exoplanets better. Space agencies plan new telescopes bigger and more powerful than any before. Some of these, like the James Webb Space Telescope, can see the air on small planets and even take pictures of them. Soon, other telescopes and tools will help people see planets almost as small as Earth around stars not too far away. Some scientists also dream of sending small robots or probes to the nearest planets using special sails moved by light. These tiny machines could take pictures and send back more data, but places like Proxima Centauri b are still many trillions of kilometers away, and the trip would take many years. Until that day, most research uses light collected on Earth or in space. To learn how a star system works, scientists also look at how many planets are in it, what order they are in, and how they move. Big gas planets nearby can protect small rocky worlds or throw rocks at them. Some planets even have moons that might hold air and water. Each piece of the system can change the chances for life. Scientists today can also use computers to make complex models of planets, their air, their weather, and how they change. These models help test ideas about whether a planet could have oceans, storms, and calm weather for a long time. As part of learning about exoplanets, people sometimes find planets that are not going around any star at all. These are called rogue planets. They move through space alone, without light and heat from a sun. While it is less likely for life to start on such worlds, it is still possible if there is another way to get energy. Exoplanet research needs teamwork. Astronomers, physicists, chemists, biologists, and engineers all help. Some read data, others build new tools, others do math, and many share ideas and results. Research groups from different countries share what they learn so everyone can discover faster. With every new exoplanet, the list of possible worlds for life gets bigger. Scientists focus on exoplanets that are in the habitable zone, are close enough to study, and have signals that match what is known for life. When a planet meets all these tests, it becomes a top candidate for the next studies. As understanding grows, scientists find not only new planets, but also worlds that are more like Earth or even superhabitable. These places are the best for looking for life. Sometimes, after much study, it is possible to know a planet's exact size, the color of its sky, and even how its clouds move. There are challenges. Starlight is very strong and planets are faint. Planets orbit at great distances. It takes skill, patience, and strong machines to find them. Sometimes it takes years of study to be sure a planet is real, not just a mistake in the data. Changes in the star, noise from space, and the limits of machines can make the job harder. Even so, every new telescope brings hope. New discoveries teach more about the universe and about how planets and life can arise in many ways. Many young people watch these studies and dream of discovering new worlds or building even better telescopes. Scientists now look not just for single planets, but for whole systems. They track how planets move, how they affect each other, and how stable or wild their orbits are. Understanding systems helps decide which planets can keep good climates, air, and water for a long time. The work of searching for and studying exoplanets continues and gets more exciting every year. Big telescopes on the ground and in space, new tools and smarter computers all help. International groups of scientists and students add their ideas, share results, and look at the stars again and again. Each new planet is a chance to learn more. Finding the best places for life, especially superhabitable worlds, is the dream of many people. These places may have even better spaces for life than Earth. They may teach about how life can start and grow, and how planets and stars work together to support life over billions of years. In the search for promising exoplanets, sometimes one planet stands out. Its size, distance from the star, air, and water may make it the best target for research. When all the clues fit, scientists choose this planet to study with the best telescopes and pay close attention to any new data. By focusing on a few of the best planets, research can answer more important questions and help everyone learn more about life in the universe. The discovery and careful study of the most promising superhabitable exoplanets show what is possible with teamwork, creative ideas, and new technology. When a planet such as Kepler 442b is found, and it looks like it has all the right clues for life, the planet becomes the focus of much hope and study. This moves science closer to answering the question of life in space and to understanding the most promising examples of habitable worlds. When scientists see a planet that could be the best target for study, they want to learn everything about it. One of the most interesting discoveries in recent years is a planet known as Kepler 442b. Many people became curious about Kepler 442b because it has many things that make it a possible home for life. Scientists started by looking at the details of this planet and checking if it has all the signs that make a world a good place for life to grow. Kepler 442b was discovered using the Kepler Space Telescope. This telescope spent many years searching for planets around other stars. It watched the sky all the time and looked for dips in the brightness of stars, which meant a planet was passing in front. Kepler 442b was found in this way. The measurement showed that this planet is bigger than Earth, but not too big. Its size is important because planets that are too small cannot keep an atmosphere for long, and planets that are too big often become gas giants with no solid ground for life. Kepler 442b is a rocky planet, not a gas planet. This means it probably has a solid surface and it might have land, oceans, and mountains. Scientists use the size and mass of Kepler 442b to decide this. Its mass is a little more than Earth, which means gravity there is stronger, but not so strong that it would stop life from living. The surface would feel a little heavier than life on Earth, but most animals and plants could probably still live. One very important detail about Kepler 442b is the distance between the planet and its own star. This distance affects the temperature on the planet. If a planet is too close to its star, it gets too hot. If it is too far away, it gets too cold. Scientists measured Kepler 442b's distance from its star and found it moves in an orbit that puts it in the star's habitable zone. This zone is just at the right distance for water to stay liquid on the surface. Kepler 442b's star is smaller and cooler than the Sun. It is called a K-dwarf star. These types of stars are gentle and stable, and they live for billions of years. This means there is plenty of time for life to appear and grow. The light from a K-dwarf star is softer than the Sun's light, and the planet is not too hot and not too cold for most of its year. If Kepler 442b has an atmosphere like Earth, it could have very nice temperatures. The year on Kepler 442b is different than on Earth. It takes the planet about 112 days to complete a round trip around its star. This is shorter than a year on Earth, so seasons and changes come faster. But the planet's gentle star helps the climate stay stable, so the changes in temperature may not be so hard for life. Another good thing about Kepler 442b is its possible atmosphere. Even though scientists cannot see the air directly, they use information from the planet's size and what is known about planets like it. Most rocky planets as big as Kepler 442b can keep a thick layer of air, called an atmosphere. If the planet has plenty of air, it can keep the temperature steady, protect life from strong rays from its star, and keep water on its surface. Some scientists use models and calculations to guess that Kepler 442b could have water, clouds, and maybe even oceans. The right amount of air helps keep water from boiling away or freezing, so lakes and seas could be safe for millions or billions of years. If the air has a good mix of gases, like oxygen and a little carbon dioxide, plants and animals could live there. Clouds made from water vapor could keep the planet cool enough in the day and warm enough at night. One thing that makes Kepler 442b special is that it is just a little bigger and a little older than Earth. A bigger size means it can have more land and water. An older age means there has been more time for life to start and develop new forms. If life began on Kepler 442b a very long time ago, it could now be very complex and rich, with many types of plants and animals. The balance between land and water is important too. Scientists guess that Kepler 442b could have more water than Earth, making it even easier for living things to grow in many places. More water also helps make the climate very steady, reducing the chance of big storms, freezing winters, or dry, hot summers. With stable weather, different forms of life can live and change for a long time, spreading over all parts of the planet. The planet's gravity also plays a role in making a good home for life. The stronger gravity helps keep both the air and water close to the planet. This protects the world from losing its air to space. The right gravity also helps build mountains, rivers, and lakes. All these are good places for animals and plants to live. If Kepler 442b has a strong magnetic field, this could help protect its atmosphere, air, and living things from dangerous space rays and winds from its star. Magnetic fields come from the deep inside of a planet, especially if it has a moving metal core. With this invisible shield, water and air are safe for longer, and living things have a better place to grow. Scientists also think about life cycles and food chains on such a planet. If there are oceans and land, there could be special areas for different forms of life. Shallow lakes and seas are good places for tiny life forms to start. Big forests and rich grasslands make homes for larger animals and plants. If the air has oxygen, animals can move, find food, and breathe. If there is carbon dioxide, this helps plants grow. If the star is stable, days and nights will not have wild changes in temperature. Stable light from the star gives regular sunlight for plants to use and for animals to see. moons or small tilts of the planet could give gentle seasons, helping different plants and animals live through different parts of the year. On Kepler 442b, scientists might find interesting weather. The planet could have regular rains, clouds, and winds. Good weather helps keep water moving, bringing rain to land and keeping plants healthy. Streams and rivers can carry nutrients, and lakes and oceans give places for life to grow. One of the big questions is whether Kepler 442b really has life or not. Right now, nobody can send a robot or a person to see the planet because it is about 1,200 light-years away from Earth. Even with the best telescopes, it is too far to see plants or animals directly. But scientists are not stopped by this challenge. They use light, models, and careful study to look for small clues. One clue is the study of the planet's air from far away. If telescopes can see light moving through the atmosphere of Kepler 442b, they can find out what gases are there. If they find oxygen, water vapor, or even methane, it would be a very exciting sign. These gases are not easy to make without living things. On Earth, for example, oxygen mostly comes from plants and tiny life in the sea. Another clue is the way the planet blocks its star's light. If the shadow changes in special ways, it could mean there are clouds, air, or even oceans. Scientists use huge computers to model many situations. They try to see what the planet would look like if it did or did not have water, clouds, or thick air. Kepler 442b has special interest because many things about it match what is needed for life. It is not too big or small, it is in the right zone for water. Its star is gentle, and the planet may have old and stable conditions. Sometimes when planets are very young or very old, they have too many disasters or new dangers. But Kepler 442b seems to be in the middle of its life, which is good for stability. Some calculations suggest that the ground is rocky and there may be mountains, valleys, rivers, and lakes. A surface like this, with many places for life, is better than a flat and empty world. Variation in the land helps life find many homes and allows new forms of life to appear in different places. If Kepler 442b has all these things, it could be one of the best places in the universe for life. Maybe it has forests, lakes, grasslands, and oceans. Maybe it has living things that are simple, or some that are more complex. Although scientists do not have pictures or direct proof, the puzzle pieces fit together in a way that makes Kepler 442b stand out. Many new telescopes like the James Webb Space Telescope and others coming in the future will keep watching Kepler 442b and similar worlds. These tools will help find the colors of the air, the signs of water, and maybe even small changes in light that mean something is alive. Each small piece of information, like a bit of color or a small shadow, helps answer the bigger question: could Kepler 442b be a living world? Researchers also study how old the star is. The star of Kepler 442b is expected to shine for billions of years more, so life would have time to appear, grow, and change. This is different from planets around very young or dangerous stars, where changes come too fast for life to settle. There is much hope that Kepler 442b will teach people more about life in space. Other planets are being found every year, but each new planet is compared to Kepler 442b to see if it is better or worse for life. The study of Kepler 442b gives a list of things to watch for in every new planet: size, air, water, star, distance, and stability. Even though the planet is far away, the search for planets like it brings together scientists from many places and helps everyone share what they learn. Every new clue about Kepler 442b helps make better tools, build smarter telescopes, and ask better questions. All this helps in the search for other possible super-habitable worlds. The work on Kepler 442b also shows that there may be many other planets even closer to Earth that have the same, or maybe better, chances for life. As new discoveries are made, each planet is checked carefully. Scientists look for signs of water, good climate, and gentle stars, hoping to find the place where life is waiting to be found. Now, the search for life on exoplanets continues with more hope. Each time a planet is found like Kepler 442b, it becomes a new dream for people on Earth. It opens more questions about what is possible, what forms life might take, and how people can learn about distant worlds. Many new technologies are being built to get even better information, and scientists are eager to know what the next discovery will show. Studying one promising world closely can help improve the search everywhere. Each question answered on Kepler 442b makes it easier to ask the right question about the next planet. Some discoveries might be surprising, and some may take many years to understand. Still, the lessons from Kepler 442b will shape the path ahead as people search for habitable worlds and the signs of life beyond our own planet. Even as scientists keep looking at Kepler 442b, they know there is always more to learn. There are other questions to answer, new tools to build, and new ideas to test. Sometimes, scientists find new problems to solve or better ways to look for life. Every piece of information helps, even if it does not prove life is there. The process teaches everyone more about our universe and about what people need to find new places for life. When scientists look at Kepler 442b and planets like it, they know there are still many things they do not know. More discoveries are coming, and each year brings better ways to search for air, water, and the signs that life might just be waiting in some far-off world. Each new discovery about a distant planet such as Kepler 442b brings more questions. Even with all the information collected, there are still many mysteries waiting for answers. Scientists often cannot see everything with the telescopes they have now. They may know the size of a planet, the kind of star it travels around, and some ideas about its temperature and distance. But there are still many things that are not clear or need more proof. One of the biggest questions is about real signs of life. Until now, no scientist has seen clear proof of living things on any exoplanet. Some planets look promising because they seem to have the right temperature, might have water, and possibly have an atmosphere. However, a real sign of life, such as a plant, an animal, or even germs, has not been found. Instead, scientists look for special clues called biosignatures that could suggest life is possible or may have existed in the past. Biosignatures are things in a planet's air or on its surface that are usually made by living things. On Earth, oxygen in air comes from plants and tiny life in the sea. Methane can be made by animals or by chemical reactions from rocks. If scientists find both oxygen and methane in a planet's atmosphere at the same time, this can be interesting because these two gases do not stay together for long unless something keeps making them. Looking for these biosignatures is very hard. The planets are very far away and their stars are very bright. The atmosphere of the planet is usually thin compared to the light from the star. Even with the largest and best telescopes, it is difficult to separate the light from the planet's air from the star's own light. It may take many tries and different tools to be sure what the air is made of. Another thing scientists try is to study the colors and patterns of light as it passes through a planet's air. When a planet moves between its star and Earth, some starlight travels through the planet's atmosphere. Scientists use special machines to look at this light in detail and see what colors are missing. Each gas takes out a different color. If water vapor, carbon dioxide, or even oxygen is missing in just the right way, it can be a sign that these gases are in the planet's air. Sometimes the evidence is not strong enough. Some gases that would be interesting for life can also be made without life. Volcanoes can make gases like methane. Some chemical reactions can make oxygen too. if the planet's surface has special rocks or minerals. This is why scientists are always careful before saying that there may be life on a planet. Every discovery brings more questions. Even when a planet seems perfect for life, such as having the right temperature, good size, or being in the right position around its star, there are other details that can mean life is not possible. Some planets may have a thick atmosphere made of carbon dioxide, which can make the surface too hot. Other planets lose their air to space a little at a time until nothing is left to protect life. There are also things scientists do not yet understand about the stars themselves. Some stars, especially small ones, can be active and send out strong bursts of rays and particles. These bursts can push away a planet's air, making it hard for life to survive. On Earth, the magnetic field protects living things by keeping dangerous rays away. Not all planets have strong magnetic fields to help them. Another thing not yet known for sure is what the surface of these planets is really like. Maybe a planet is rocky, but covered by thick clouds, or has its whole surface underwater. Maybe there are big storms all the time. Even the best computers and models cannot always predict what the surface will be like. Some planets might look great on the outside, but have hard, dangerous places for living things. Even though there are challenges, new tools can help. Future telescopes will be able to see fainter things and pick up colors and patterns that today's machines cannot. These telescopes will help look at more planets and help scientists get more details for everyone found. Some telescopes are being designed to see whole planets at once and to take snapshots of air and water, or even clouds moving over time. Many researchers now look for planets that are even closer to Earth. These close-by planets are easier to study because the light does not have to travel as far. Some of these may be found around stars that can be seen with normal telescopes. Scientists hope the next generation of space telescopes and instruments can point directly at these planets and see their air and maybe even their surface. There are also plans to use new kinds of measurements. Some scientists want to study how heat escapes from a planet, or how much the planet wobbles as it goes around its star. Tiny movements or changes in heat can show much about the shape of the planet, the amount of air, or even if there is weather or water. Another idea is to look at planets that pass behind their star. When this happens, the planet's own light is blocked for a short time. By comparing the light that comes from the star with the light coming from the planet's surface and air, scientists can learn even more about what the planet is made of. It is also possible that life could show itself in other ways. Maybe life makes strange patterns on the planet's surface, such as colors that change with the seasons. On Earth, fields and forests look different at different times of the year. Scientists want to look for places where a planet's color or reflection changes in ways that match living things. Some of the best places to look are around stars that shine steady and give energy for billions of years. But even for these good stars, it can be hard to tell if a planet has kept the right conditions for all that time. Planets can change. Maybe a planet started with water but lost it after a long time. Maybe the planet's surface changed with volcanoes, earthquakes, or big impacts from space rocks. Scientists also want to find out more about exomoons. These are moons that go around other planets outside our solar system. Some exomoons could have air and water too. Some of them may even be in the habitable zone. It is hard to find these moons because they are smaller and dimmer than planets. But with better telescopes, more exomoons might be found, adding more places to search for life. It is not always possible to tell if the details found really mean life. Many things can make gases, colors, light, or shadows that at first look like proof of life, but come from non-living things. This is why scientists take a long time checking all the numbers and try to make sure every answer has a good reason and is not just an accident. Science improves every year. New computers help check for mistakes. Programs can test millions of ideas in a short time. People from many countries and different fields, such as biology, chemistry, and astronomy, work together to solve the big mystery of life in the universe. Another difficult question is how many planets really have the chances for life. There are billions of stars in our galaxy, the Milky Way. Most of them have at least one planet. Some have many. Out of all these, only a small part are in the right place for water and the right temperature. Fewer still have all the other things needed, such as the right air, water, and not too many disasters. Even with so many stars and planets, it is possible that life is rare. On Earth, life began a long time ago, but it was simple for billions of years before getting complex. Scientists do not know if life will always begin if the conditions are right, or if there are special things that made life start on Earth that do not happen often. Sometimes discoveries show something never seen before. A planet might have a strange orbit or show signs of an odd kind of air or have a surface that nobody expects. These surprises teach new things every time and show how much is still unknown. Humans have only a small view of the universe. The light from distant planets can take hundreds or thousands of years to reach Earth. By looking at this old light, scientists see how a planet was in the past, not how it is today. This makes things harder because the planet could have changed since the light left. Maybe water dried up or new disaster happened. Even with all these challenges, every step forward gives hope. New tools, stronger telescopes, and better cooperation can solve problems that looked too hard before. Each new discovery adds to what is known and opens doors to new questions. Each answer helps make the next plan better and brings the dream of finding life closer. There is also the question of how close some of these new planets might be. In the future, there could be planets that are not hundreds or thousands of light years away, but just a few dozen light years from Earth. Planets much closer would be easier to study and maybe, far in the future, even explore with robots or humans. To study planets better, some scientists are thinking of building telescopes that fly far from Earth or sending small spacecraft that travel very fast. Most of these dreams are for many years in the future, but each new idea brings science closer to the answer. Sometimes the best clues come from small worlds in our own solar system. By studying places like Mars, Europa, or Enceladus, scientists learn more about what signs might mean life or not. Mars once had water and air, but lost them. Europa has an ocean under ice, and Enceladus has water coming from under its surface. These studies help decide what things to look for on exoplanets. In this search, patience is very important. It can take years, even decades, to collect enough information to be sure about a planet. Sometimes early signs give hope, but stronger evidence is needed before anyone can say life is really there. Each piece of information from distant planets tells something important about what is possible in nature. Some planets have clouds or strong winds. Others have thick air or none at all. Some are empty, while others might be full of things humans cannot see yet. The more that is learned about planets, stars, water, air, and climate, the faster better questions can be asked. The search for new places for life is one of the most exciting things humans do. It brings together many people and ideas. Finding even a small hint of life out in space would be one of the biggest discoveries ever made. It would change the way that everyone thinks about the universe and about Earth. Even if the proof of life does not come soon, each new discovery helps understand more about what is possible. It shows how good conditions can stay for millions or billions of years, and what happens when things go wrong. These lessons help people not only look for new worlds, but also take better care of their own planet. Every discovery is shared with people everywhere, Students, teachers, and everyone interested in space can learn, ask questions, and dream of new worlds. Each new answer is just the start of many more new questions. Many wonder why this search is so important. The search for life helps people see where they fit in the universe. It helps join people from all countries and backgrounds in a goal that is bigger than any one person or place. By searching together, people learn to work together, to hope, and to imagine what is possible. The future holds many new chances. Tools will get better, new planets will be found closer to Earth, and each time scientists will be able to ask deeper questions. Maybe one day humans will find a planet with simple life, or even something more complex. Whether it happens soon or much later, the journey continues, and each year brings more hope. The next discoveries may come from new telescopes, from more careful study, or from sharing ideas in new ways. The big question remains open. Is life rare, or is it everywhere? Even if it takes a long time to know the answer for sure, every step brings people closer. Each planet, each clue, each question helps shape the future, and the joy of discovery leads many to keep searching for more. The journey to find new worlds and search for life beyond Earth is changing not just what scientists know, but also how people everywhere think about their place in the universe. Each step scientists take helps everyone learn more about stars, planets, and the things needed for life. The search for super-habitable planets has become one of the biggest areas of study for people who look at the sky. This work can change the way people see Earth itself and gives hope that humans are not alone. Looking for super-habitable planets teaches about what life truly needs. It shows that water, good climate, and the right kind of air are not only important on other planets, but are also what make life possible on Earth. As scientists compare Earth with other worlds, they begin to understand how rare and special Earth's own conditions are. This knowledge encourages people to take better care of their home world. By caring for Earth, people can make sure life here continues for billions of years into the future. This search also brings people together. The search for life and new worlds is bigger than one country, one group, or one person. Scientists from every place, culture, and background work together, sharing ideas and discoveries. People build new tools, share their findings with everyone, and make space science something that connects the world. Children in different countries learn about the stars and dream about other planets, all because of these discoveries. Every new exoplanet is like a new invitation for all people to imagine and hope for something more. When scientists study planets that might be super-habitable, they also become more curious about Earth's history. They look at how life started here so long ago and why it grew the way it did. This helps answer questions about where people come from and where humans might go in the future. If life can start on other planets, it makes the story of life much bigger. Each discovery helps answer very old questions. Since ancient times, people have looked at the sky and wondered, are we alone? Every time a planet is found with the right conditions for life, that hope grows. The possible discovery of life somewhere else, even if it is only in simple forms, will be one of the biggest moments in history. It would change how people think about the meaning of life and about their own world. The search for super-habitable planets is not just about finding a place to visit or live. It is also about understanding the chances for life to exist in many forms. If people find out that life is common, it shows that the universe can make many kinds of living things, not just those on Earth. If life turns out to be rare, it will show that Earth needs even more care as a place that may be unlike any other for a very long distance. This work also brings progress in technology. Every new telescope, camera, or computer made for space is a tool that can help with other problems too. Many ideas used in finding planets far away have helped solve challenges here on Earth. studying the climate, understanding pollution, or sending better signals between people. The skills needed for space science help in many areas of life. The search for other worlds has already made daily life better for many. Space telescopes, satellites, and the computers used to discover exoplanets help people see storms before they come, find lost ships, help with farming, and more. Every new mission and tool brings new skills and ideas to use in many parts of society. The journey teaches about working together. No one person has all the answers. The best results come when people from everywhere listen, share what they know, and build on each other's ideas. Many of the biggest discoveries about exoplanets have come from groups working together from all around the world, sharing the same hope and excitement. The search brings hope for the future. Someday, humans might travel to other planets or even live there. Knowing what makes a planet safe and healthy will be important if people want to go far from Earth. Finding a super-habitable planet could help in planning new places for humans to go, live, or even start new forms of life. Young people today will likely help answer some of these big questions. Many students everywhere are learning about stars, planets, and life in space. They are asking new questions, creating new tools, and bringing fresh ideas to science. Each new generation adds to the work, keeping the search for life in space moving forward. The work is important in another way. By sending telescopes and instruments to study other worlds, people are showing that learning, hope, and working together are some of the best things about being human. The search for planets and life is a story that all people share, and every discovery brings them together. People sometimes ask why we should look for other planets. There are many good reasons. Learning more about planets and life helps understand climate, oceans, air, and weather here on Earth. It helps answer big questions about where people come from and whether people are alone. It makes people curious and creative, helps build new technology, and helps bring many different people together. It shows how much people can achieve when they work together. Another reason is safety. One day, Earth might face big changes. Some people dream that if another good planet is found, humans could visit, study, or even move there if needed. Even if this is far away, the search today is the first step in learning how to care for and travel to new worlds. The discoveries about what makes a planet safe guide people in protecting their own world and thinking about the future. The search for super-habitable worlds also helps people find their place in the universe. When people look at the stars, they see a huge space full of planets, stars, and maybe life. Knowing more about what is possible helps people feel part of something much larger. It can make problems feel smaller and dreams feel bigger. There is also excitement and the love of discovery. Finding new worlds, looking for life, and asking big questions are part of what makes people curious and creative. Each new answer from space science comes with more questions, and the search never stops. This keeps people looking, learning, and growing. Everyone can be a part of the search, not just scientists. People can watch the night sky, read about discoveries, talk to others about what is found, and share ideas with friends and family. Many people work together to build telescopes, share data, or even help find new planets by looking at data on the internet. The search belongs to everyone. When a new world is found, people can imagine it. They can dream about standing under another sky, seeing new colors, or meeting new forms of life. This helps with art, stories, games, and ways of thinking. The search for super-habitable planets makes room for hope and the idea that wonderful discoveries wait in the future. Each time a planet like Kepler 442b is studied, new lessons are learned. These can help with other science, with climate models, weather, and even health. People learn about how air, water, and living things connect. This is useful everywhere, from studying Earth to caring for plants or finding new medicines. All this work also teaches patience and respect. Some discoveries take many years or need many people to check and recheck before a final answer is found. When people work together and wait for the right time, the best results come. The search for super-habitable planets shines a light on how much is not yet known. This is not a bad thing. It means there are endless possibilities for new knowledge. Every time a planet is discovered, new questions come. The ideas about what is possible in nature keep growing. Looking for better planets helps people understand what is special about Earth. It shows what needs to be protected and valued. When scientists see how rare water, air, and the right mix of conditions are, they feel more respect for what people have. People sometimes say the search for life and new worlds brings out the best parts of being human. Curiosity, hope, teamwork, love of learning, and the wish to understand are all part of this big adventure. No matter where people live or what language they speak, these values are the same. Space science is changing very quickly. Larger and better telescopes are being built. New ideas and new tools are coming. Soon, maybe in just a few years or decades, someone may see the first clear sign of life on another planet. It could happen because of work being done right now in the search for super-habitable worlds. When that day arrives, and when people know for sure that they have found life outside Earth, it will be a new step for all humans. People will learn even more about what is necessary for life, and maybe how to work together better. The world will get a little bigger, and the story of life will have new chapters. Until then, everyone can be proud of each discovery, big or small. Sharing the search, asking questions, and thinking about what is possible brings people closer together. Each year, new teams will set new goals, and children will dream of stars, planets, and exploring the unknown. No matter what is found, the search for super-habitable planets will always be a source of wonder and hope. It will remind people to protect and love their own world even as they look out to others. The journey is as important as the answers. All of these lessons and hopes are why the search for super-habitable worlds matters. It helps people learn, grow, respect the Earth, and dream much bigger dreams. The search is for new knowledge, for understanding, for the future, and for what is best in everyone. The universe is very large, and there are many worlds to find. Each day brings new discoveries and more reasons for everyone, everywhere, to keep searching, learning, and hoping together.